Mondays through Fridays, 3:30 to 4:30 p.m. in the newsroom. You can't afford to miss it.
Program in the newsroom, where we bring you topical issues affecting the country. My name is Kayode Adebayo. We are here once again to discuss some interesting topics bordering on the affairs of Nigeria, those issues that are so topical in the concerning the happenings in the country. So today I have my guest, as usual, with me in the house, Prince Wale Olayemi, sitting close to me. You are welcome on the program.
It's my pleasure to be here.
Now, I also have with me Seyi Adeniyi. Seyi Adeniyi, you are welcome.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon, friends at home.
How's the family?
Let's go.
You are welcome.
Thank you so much.
Now, let's start the program while we are expecting the third guest on the program. Hopefully will soon join us. Now, the first topic of our discussion today is the comment by the Senate President as a result of the APC primary election that was held yesterday. So, Senate President Ahmed Lawal said, with Tinubu as candidate, APC confident of victory. Wale, do you agree with this assertion?
The Senate President is a party man.
Yes.
So we expect him to express that kind of optimism now that the horse trading regarding who becomes the standard bearer of the APC is now a thing of the past.
Okay.
At least, ordinarily, it is expected that every other person should come on board, rally around the candidate, and ensure that he transits from being a candidate to a president that will succeed President Muhammadu Buhari in next year.
Now, Seyi, are you in tune with this assertion coming from the Senate President?
Yeah, like Uba rightly said, that Lawan is a party man and also a former aspirant.
Okay.
And yes, we want to assure people that yes, with Asiwaju Ahmed Tinubu being the candidate of the APC, that sure the victory is assured. So he has to say that, but we should not forget the fact that personally I want to congratulate Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu for the very hard and harsh battle to get the ticket.
Yeah.
So I want to believe Lawan is speaking as a party person. So let's give him that for him.
Okay. Yeah. Now, Shola, you are welcome on the program. Viewers at home, Shola is around now. You are welcome.
Thank you very much.
Yeah. Now, you met us discussing the comment coming from Senate President Ahmed Lawan, saying that with Tinubu as candidate of the party of APC, that the party is confident of winning the 2023 general elections. Are you in line with this assertion by the Senate President?
I mean, that's APC's affair, and that's APC's. APC should have the strategy of winning the election.
Okay.
And then APC, we also know who is the winning ticket and who can win the election for it. So I want to believe that we're talking from as a party man and as somebody, as a contestant, as a focus. So he must have been talking from his own, from his experience, from what he knows about Asiwaju Tinubu.
Okay.
And from what he knows about his political structure.
Yeah.
Okay. So, which I believed hand him the ticket itself. Bola Tinubu has been, he's like a Trojan horse. Trojan horse in politics. He's been there. Yeah. And then he has, over the years, built a network of, built structures across all, all multi-ethnic, multi-religious structures he has built. And the fact is that he has been building these structures for that day. He said his life ambition is to rule this country.
Yeah. So,
I mean, for somebody who says he has a life ambition to rule Nigeria, he must have been preparing for it. And I believe that because of his preparations and because of his tenacity of purpose and because of his strategies, he clinched the ticket. Of course, I've said it before, that if Tinubu will decide what happens to APC, whether APC will live or die. And APC will only live if they have to reckon with Tinubu. If they do anything, if they have done anything to the contrary, that is, if they have gone other than the popular primary election, if anybody had gone the other way of handing out Tinubu, of course the prices will be too heavy. The prices will be too heavy, and I think they realize that. Those who the 10 or 11 northern governors that actually sat and decided that they should go to the south must have studied this situation, realized the enormity that, of course, why do we have to lose? Political calculations and schemings had a lot to do with what happened day before yesterday.
All right, let me come back to Wale. From what Shola has said now. Now, let me put it to you. If it is not Bola Tinubu that emerged, if somebody else has emerged as the candidate of the party, would the APC not have won would the APC have failed in 2023 general elections?
Well, let me start by saying that in politics and maybe in life, there's what we call enlightened self-interest. And I think that was brought to bear when the governors saw the handwriting on the wall, that it will be better to have a very strong political person like Tinubu as the candidate and maintain the hold of the APC on the rulership of this country than to, because of extraneous reasons, give it to somebody who is most likely to lose the election. Because the cost of being in opposition in Nigerian politics is enormous. So maybe they look at it and say that there's no way out than to respect what they had agreed to, that it should be a turn-by-turn thing. The North, 8 years, the South, 8 years. rotation sort of. So I think it's unimaginable that they would have decided not to give Ashwaju a fair ground to run, because that consensus stuff will have polarized the party, and there's no gainsaying the fact that if Ashwaju didn't get that kind of a fair playing ground, and some element within the party foisted the candidates on the ground, maybe Ashwaju pulling out of APC. And
okay, before the primaries.
And without mincing words, there's this person that sang a song in Yoruba in praise of the late NEWSROOM. He said, Idaji Ibadan. I don't play anything. So Ashwaju is that fighter to the APC. He could pull a lot of those governors and they can just hijack one of the parties and do their stuff. So that would be the end of the APC. So it will just be, as a lot of people have been saying, is an all-purpose vehicle to just access power for Buhari, and the APC would have gone into oblivion. It was so apparent. So I think maybe sanity prevailed, or reason prevailed at the end of the day, that a bird at hand is worth more than 10,000 in the bush. That's, guys, let us be reasonable. And they have sized Ashwaju up and say, this guy will give us a hell of a headache. And the man was consistent. He was saying, I prefer a primary. If I lose, I will go. So, for that kind of a man, and when they started all the abracadabra, some of us were watching by the sidelines, quite hopeful that that consensus stuff would not fly. And then at the end of the day, it did not.
Okay. Shiyi, as soon as somebody else emerged as APC candidate, what do you think would have happened to the party?
It's a very straightforward answer. The party will have, by now will have, even Buhari will have been started preparing his handing over not to the, to opposition. I can't say for now, but because the crisis will have so much, will have engulfed the party as you speak. And also, like I think we discussed about it 2 or 3 weeks ago here, that if our democracy must thrive, and if we must truly enjoy democracy, the charm of the party, even the party must be empowered in such a way that it will be allowed to, to run its affairs by itself, not by the president or by the governor of the state, as case may be. Because if you look critically at what transpired before the primaries, you will agree with me that the party chairman already sold where they belong to, where they want to, when the party wants to go. I mean, announcing Lawan as a consensus candidate before everything now started scattering, and even that forced Tinubu to have, said out what he said in Ogun State, where he said that he's local, and gave us what happened when Buhari freed 4th, 2nd, and 3rd terms, and said even will not run again, and the likes. And then I was even thinking maybe what Ashwaju was saying then will have a kind of negative effect on him, because the national chairman has to come out, to register as the player over that statement that Tinubu was disrespecting the office of the president, talking down on the president, and I was thinking maybe that
have a negative effect.
I want to believe Asiwaju fought a very strong battle to have gotten that ticket. He did not get it on the battle of vote. He did not get it just on arrangement of gentleman arrangement. No, he fought for it and he got it. So I think if actually did not get that ticket, it would have been disaster for the party as we speak. And unfortunately, Mr. President is someone that doesn't have anything to lose. He doesn't have anything to stake. He doesn't. As a matter of fact, just do your thing. Let me finish my tenure and go back to Daura and live my life. So, but it has spent a lot of effect, negative effect on the other ordinary members of the party. We are hoping that if this person should get in power, they also benefit from the largesse of the. So that will be so disastrous for the party.
All right, thank you, Sheyi. So now let me put this one to you. The comment by the Senate President is a kind of 100% assurance that APC will win the 2023 elections. For the opposition party, the PDP, they are not also sleeping. What is your reaction in this regard?
I must first of all let you know that any Nigerian politician, any, is an incurable optimist. So, otherwise, when I look at the level of politicking, when I look at the level of, look at the number of people who got forms, 100 million naira. Look at the motley crowd of political parties. Even those small parties, which can hardly win a ward or a unit election, gunning for the presidency or gunning for the government. So then you now know that will not tell you that a politician is an incurable optimist. Even where there are indications that there's no way, he believes that he can get it. So that is it. So you have to understand that statement on that premise. Of course, Babashir Lawal or Ahmed Lawan or whatever, of course they will tell you that the APC will win, that there's no, and the PDP also, they will tell you that they will win. So it is, of course, part of the game of politics. A politician will not tell you that he will not win, even if there are glaring, even when there are glaring indications that the battle is lost. He will tell you that he will win the election. So politicians are themselves, by their nature, and of course maybe the kind of inbuilt training they have, is that they will win the election. So, but who wins, who loses, should be decided, should be in the hands of you and I, the citizens. And this is why we have to develop a democracy that is citizen, not only citizen inclusive, but citizen empowered. That the people themselves will decide who wins. You see, there's no American president that will tell you that yes, I am the one, that the conservative is the one, this is the one. No. Nobody will tell you that. It is the American citizen, the constitution, that will tell you that, when Jimmy Carter was president of the United States, he expressed desire for a second term, isn't it?
Yeah.
He lost. He realized that he had lost the election so early in the campaign, in the period of the campaign. When he was trying to, in fact, it was not a natural campaign. It was a kind of a surveillance, a kind of pre-election surveillance. He was going out. He knew there then that he had lost, because the Americans no longer believed that he deserved a second term. So it's quite different from it's a scenario. It's a different scenario here when we have that the party or somebody within the party tell you, yes, I'm winning. I'm winning. Rather than the people deciding that, okay, you say you are winning. We will tell you that you cannot win. So we need to develop our democratic system
Okay.
to the level whereby it is the people that will determine who wins and who loses.
Okay. All right, viewers at home, we go on short break right now. We'll come back after this time out. Don't go away. That is coming from a Christian Association of Nigeria. Wale, with this, with the development, surge development at all, is Nigeria really heading to anarchy? Can we really say that Nigeria is heading to anarchy?
I would say since I've been around and probably living in the Southwest,
Yeah.
I've not for once witnessed a situation whereby almost 60 persons were hunted down and killed in cold blood like that. It was horrendous. It was something that was totally unacceptable. It's not something that must repeat itself, particularly in Yoruba land. And I think for the camp people to say we are heading for anarchy is even another statement. We are on the road to Golgotha already. We're on that road. Because a situation whereby the nation is structured in such a way that some people are free to carry arms all around, while others are held arms down. When they see a then gun with you, you have to explain how you get it. And in this country, we've seen a serious proliferation of small arms. And in any country where you have an uncontrolled movement of arms, then you give room for people to have that kind of a monopoly of violence. Having said that, I think Khan was right, because since this kidnapping, terrorism, raping, and all this sort started in the Southwest, a lot of people have been so worried that is this how things will continue? And I think that was what led to the creation of Amateku. But the incident was a sort of something that awakens us, that maybe we have to look further than Amateku. It means that we need to look at the traditional security architecture. We have our hunters there and some other levels of traditional way of providing security for our people. And I think in that direction, our obas should be up and doing. Because some years back, if you enter a community, the first place you go is the oba's palace. Because you are in Yoruba land, you will be seen as a stranger.
Yes.
Once, in the first instance, they want to know your mission. You can't just maybe bring a cattle or whatever into their domain and start just living like that. They must know who you are. They will profile you. They will ask questions. Where are you coming from? And in those days, you see that at every point that you enter a particular town, you will meet the traditional guards there who will delay you. They won't let you enter until it's draping. They take you to the palace. All those things we've jettisoned them. Every other person is now hiring malams to come and be their guard. And over times, a lot of people have met their untimely death through hiring. They will say their houses. A lot of them are from Mauritania. They are from Chad. They are from. They can't even. Some of them can't even speak a word of English. Some of them speak French. So all these things, when we look at it, is more of a self-inflicted problem. And I think it has already even reached its crescendo. And that's why a lot of people are, even not only everybody is worried that if this could happen and the perpetrators just get away like that, then we should be prepared for something much more terrible than that. At least I was reading the papers today. They said maybe a set of 6 persons were killed by, maybe they call them armed robbers. You don't even know which one is which. At the end of the day, because people get just killed like fire every day. And I think in this part of the country, we pay a lot of premium on life. So I think the real issue now is for the governors who are always referred to as the chief security officer of their state to work in conjunction with our people who are the grassroots. And so, because these people are not ghosts. They don't just, you don't perpetrate that kind of a crime in a place where you have not stayed for some time. It's not possible. You need to have a clear understanding of the geography of the place. That if you move from this place. And some people have erroneously been saying that even the Fulanis who are kidnapping people, they know that forest more than. I said that's not true. There is no forest that you won't see our local hunters going there to hunt their game. So there's no way somebody who leaves his place in Samvara and just enter a bush will know the place better than our hunters. So we at the local level, at the level of the Obas, the governors, we need to sit down and talk to ourselves and say, this is not acceptable. This must not continue. So it is from that point that we will now look at, we will move to the level of what next. What should we do to contain this? Because there are so many ungoverned spaces. The forest, maybe we will begin to look at what we can do at the local level, the level of the hunter. Maybe we will be investing heavily in technology. These are issues that we need to come to terms with.
Okay. Now, Shiyi, Nigeria is heading to anarchy, coming from Khan. In view of what has been, the like of the incident that has been happening in the country, why is it now that Nigeria is heading to anarchy?
I think Khan will be speaking before now. This is not the first time the body will be speaking for, to the government. But before I say anything, I think I want to register my condolences with the families and the people of Owo and Ondo State and even people of Nigeria for that act. It was, I found it, I couldn't sleep overnight. The day that incident happened, I couldn't sleep overnight. I was thinking, because I put myself in their shoes, because that Sunday, I remember that I woke up around 5:30 and started preparing for church. So they also, they also woke up preparing to go and worship their maker. And because we believe, before now, though I'm still young, but I believe one of the places that we see as most, the safe one It's the sanctuary of God, either mosque or church. So, and now that this has happened, it shows that I asked a question 2 days ago that what is wrong with our intelligence gathering? We have DSS all over the country. We have them in each of the local government, and part of their duties is to gather intelligence report that something here. But Nigeria is like we are always reactionary to issues. We don't preempt, or we don't proactively involve or get information before it happens. It is after that thing that have happened that this and that. Because on a good day, I ask that those people, they did not come from the moon. They came to the land, and they were able to. I think so. Even someone said they spent like 20 to 30 minutes in that attack, and nobody could help. And to me, because number one priority and the responsibility of any responsible government is to protect lives and property to all citizens. And with every sense of modesty, I think if you are to judge or we are to rate the present government on that, you're afraid. Because those ones that they ought to have been killed if the government is proactive enough to, and it shows that our government needs help. We should stop these assurances of we are on top of the matter, the less become everything. No, people are dying every day. Strong that has not to die, die. So telling you that don't worry, we are not on top of any game. It shows that the government is helpless. The government needs help. That's number one. Okay. Number two, that I can't say yes, because if someone can carry gun, and invaded a place of worship and kill people, just live like that, what else again? And we have a constituted authority. Let me use that word we have a constituted authority that's supposed to provide safety for people, and they couldn't. So I want to align with what they can say, that we are heading. If we are like Oba said, we are already. So they are very correct to have said that. They're very correct.
All right. Now, Shola, let's look at it this way. If you look at the security apparatus in the country, we have the number of security agencies: the Army, the Navy, the Air Force, Police, DSS, Civil Defense. A lot of them. Now, why must we be heading to anarchy in view of all these security agencies that are in place?
Okay. Before I respond to your question, I want to draw attention of everyone to the latest happening in Kaduna, where terrorists were said to have, of course, maybe hijacked an helicopter or helicopter. Yes, and they attacked, they bombed some villages. I can't remember the name of that, churches, and of course several people have been killed. So right now, it means that when you hear an helicopter hovering in the air, then you're not even sure who is the driver or who is the flyer of that helicopter. Is he a terrorist? Is he an army officer? Is he an Air Force officer? Is he a security man? So if Khan says we are moving to anarchy, of course that is it. When you as a citizen cannot even trust who handles gun, even if the person is in uniform, you can't decipher a genuine security man from a terrorist. So it is getting to that stage now. So Nigeria is heading for anarchy. And then you now wonder, this is a country where we have full complements of security forces. The Army, the Navy, the Air Force, the DSS, the police, name it, we have them. And yet, terrorists will just competently walk into anywhere and strike and kill without any arrest being made, or without any, you can't even, for instance now, the Owa attack, how many days now? Is there any clue as to who did what? terrorists came all the way on motorcycles, hundreds of them came all the way to invade an international airport. What have you heard about it? Nothing. So we are actually moving to another. Here we have a nation being ruled by a retired army general, and that same army general and his country or his troops are surrounded by bandits. Ukraine is in war, terrible war now.
Yes.
Ukraine is fighting, is holding on to its territory against a formidable global power, Russia. And the president of Ukraine is not being headed by a military man. It's being headed by an artist, a comedian. And yet, Ukraine is still holding on. So you cannot compare a country being ruled by a bloody civilian, in every ramification, and still holding on to Russia. And Nigeria being headed by a military man, being surrounded by bandits. So who will say Khan is not? Who will say Khan is not? Khan is wrong. Nobody's wrong. Nobody's wrong in actually defining Nigeria as a terrorist camp and as a nation heading to perdition. So it depends. You now look at what exactly is wrong with our armed forces, with our security architecture. What's actually is it the person? Is it lack of I think it's maybe lack of purpose or coordination, and the fact that the security forces have been inundated, they have been invaded by rodents. Remember one of these ISWAP, is it not ISWAP commanders here in Nigeria said they have two commanders they have two commander-in-chief, isn't it? Likely that our commander-in-chief, the commander-in-chief of the Nigerian forces is also the commander-in-chief. I mean, it was in social media where it may not be true, but I mean, that kind of a statement will only indicate that we have complements of security forces that seem not to know what their responsibility is, or they have abdicated. Because right now, like I said, when you now see an helicopter hovering in the air now, or even a plane, and you are going, are you sure that aircraft or that is being controlled by a genuine security man? It has gone to that stage now. With what happened in Kaduna? So where do we go from here? So not necessarily can on anybody or any other religious body can correctly say that Nigeria is heading heading for anarchy. So I think cannot be said to be totally wrong.
Okay. Thank you, Shola. We now move on to the third topic of our discussion for today, and that has to do with the call by the chairman of NDLEA, retired General Buba Marwa, calling for drug tests for youth corps members. Wale, why the corps members? Why the corps members?
I think what must have informed that is the statistics that shows that drug abuse is very, very prevalent among the youths.
Okay.
And it's not just that they take Indian hemp. They take a lot of things now that you don't even know how to categorize it. They mix a lot of things together, Colorado and a lot of so many things. So, and all that you see starts for some people maybe when they're in secondary school.
Okay.
Down to the university, they are still taking it. So I think we need to focus more on what is even going on in our secondary schools. Because a pointer to that fact is, in most cases, the entire sports thing that we used to enjoy in those days, in most cases now, some schools don't even attempt it because it's an avenue for some of these boys to engage themselves in very bloody attacks, even leading to death. So, having said that, if you are coming into the camp, there is a need to profile you for drugs. And before they start doing that, it means that there must be a rehab somewhere. Because it means that once you are taken in, they send you to the rehab. It means that maybe for that year you can't even serve.
Yeah.
So that is it. And we need to go down the local communities too. If we empower our primary health care centers, they can do that. Some of the coppers could be used to do sensitization on the effect of drugs.
Okay.
Because I don't know why somebody would want to just, when you take drugs, you are more or less signing a death warrant. Because it's a very serious issue. And the problem is that it's better not to start. Once you start, you won't even be able to control it. And that's why even I've seen cases whereby they take some people to rehab and it relapses. So it's better to control it than they don't take it. So we need a lot of sensitization down the ladder there before they even get to the camp. Because by the time they get to the camp, they become something else.
Okay. All right, Sheyi. Drug test for core members. What do we intend to achieve?
I think according to the chairman, Marwa, Buba Marwa, he said not that only they want to test, even they want to help the youth also who have engaged in drug abuse or drug taking that, so they will be to rehabilitate and draw such individual back from taking it. So that's number one. And even with the statistic I saw maybe in the website, I think like 40% of youth between the age of 22 and 35 or 39 and 39. There are 40% that do take, they are engaged in and I want to say this, it is not limited to the younger ones alone. It's also within the IHL, even our leaders, the political leaders, is also there. It's not only that it's only the younger ones that do take drugs. So, and that is one. And I have been asking this question that what is wrong with our moral value? Because I could remember when I was in, I think, primary school, I think maybe primary 4, there's a friend of mine, my classmate, Femi. He stole his mother's money and brought it to school. I would use the money to buy kuli. And before he got home in the afternoon, my mother has already discovered that the Femi has stolen the money. And when Femi came back from school, the mother beat Femi and Femi confessed that truly he stole the money. And the mother now asked, how many of you spend the money? Because I know only you cannot spend money. He started mentioning names. That's around 8:30 p.m. in the night. I just saw Mama Femi and Femi in our house. He said, you come out. You spend my money. That night, I know the kind of beating I received from my late father. So, I had to ask how will you now engage in. It's like our moral values. It's nothing to write about. That's one. And two, it's not that only the coppers alone.
Okay.
So it's even in the secondary school. You need to start, counseling them. You need to start, like I said, that maybe healthcare centers. They need to have a kind of counseling in our secondary school, even primary school. still need to tell them the effect. You take this thing, this is the effect. And if you do, so I think from there you need to you stay in their psyche that this is not good. I will not take it. So it's part of calling for the test. It's not only just for the test, it's not only to identify those that are taking it, but also to rehabilitate them and bring them back to life. So that is the purpose.
Okay. Now, Shola, Wale and Sheyi have spoken. They were of the opinion that the drug test should not be restricted to core members alone. Do you share this view?
Of course I do. But again, I want to add that, of course, the decision by NDLEA to start initiative with youth corpers, I think is welcome. It came out of deep thought.
Okay.
The way you look at it, when you look at the scheme, the National Youth Service is a scheme that will galvanize the youth.
Yeah.
Because you are considered a university graduate serving.
Yeah.
You are considered a youth who is being prepared for nationhood, for the challenges of nationhood, right from the youth. So, if such a scheme, such an initiative is granted within that scheme, I think it will have positive ripple effects. And I want to suggest that not only subjecting the core members to drug tests or whatever should be, they should be the vanguard of training. Even within the 1 year of service, I think it should be a core feature of the National Youth Service core, scheme, that whoever is everywhere a copper is posted to, it should be or she should be at the vanguard of telling or training the younger ones of the benefits of staying off drugs. Most coppers will be posted to schools. Most of them will be posted to wherever you coppers are posted to. I think that should be the core of their service. It should be one of the core of their service. And again, the idea of this, you need to do community service. I don't know whether they still do it. It should be a prime feature of community service wherever they go, because when you look at the effect of drugs, it's not something that can be, when the effects come, the implications are so enormous. Look at the way it has taken America. Drug had almost destroyed the United States, despite all its awesome powers. And this is why America can never joke with anybody caught in drug trafficking or whatever. America will hunt that person down. And America will go to war to stop drug trade. America was encouraging it before because of the money that's going to. But they are now realized the damage that's done to Americans, the future of Americans who have been destroyed by drugs. So that's why, and if America will go to any extent to label any country involved in drug trafficking as enemy of humanity, then it shows that drug is not a thing that in fact is evil. It's something that any sane human being should avoid. And then any effort to stamp it out should be supported with everything one has. So I want to commend the NDLEA for that, and then I think the NDLEA should go further than that and make it a policy that the National Youth Service Corps should be the vanguard of propagating slogan or whatever, or making efforts that will help drug trafficking. If you look at the number of youths today now, and the youths of today, they form a sizable number of the population. Look at when you go out and see the number of young Nigerians whose lives have been damaged by drugs. You can't but be afraid. Nigeria is sitting on the keg of gunpowder. Most of those things that we're talking today, the Boko Haram, all these terrorists, all these. When you look at the terrorists, most of them are drug addicts. Most of them have been confined, have been hooked on drugs, and they can do anything. How do you think a same person, a normal person, will go to a church and start shooting people down? In the name of what? And anybody who says that is fighting, is defending Islam or whatever in the name of shooting, that person is not saying. It's just the person is just camouflaging. Nobody can defend anybody fighting fighting terror on the basis of no. Basis of it's not. Those people should be checked. It means most of the, of course, no drug user will not have psychiatric questions to answer.
Yeah. Thank you, gentlemen, for coming on the program for today. Wale, I appreciate your presence today. Sheyi, thank you for coming.
Thanks so much. Please permit me to say this.
Yeah.
Now that the APC have taken Tinubu as a president candidate,
Okay.
Tinubu should take youth, younger person to be his running mate.
Okay, Shola, thank you for coming on board today. I really enjoy your presence. Thank you very much. Viewers, I thought this is where we are going to stop the program for today. Join my colleague in the newsroom tomorrow. Until then, I am Kayode Adebayo saying bye-bye.
Mondays through Fridays, 3:30 to 4:30 p.m. in the newsroom. You can't afford to miss it.